Let me see if my volume is up. First of all, hey everybody, it's Marlene of Love Marlene 411, and welcome to the Sip and Chat. Today, first we got to talk about our channel, right? So on this channel, Love Marlene 411, what we do over here is we talk about all of the love things, all of them. The love we have for ourselves, the love you have for your children, spouse, significant other, friends, relatives, anybody we can encounter, because unless we love ourselves, we are definitely not going to be able to love others. So welcome. And it's a celebration today, guys. I put on my celebration lipstick, one of my favorite lip colors, because of this occasion. And I'm waiting on our co host, Miss Nexie. Let's go to the chat. And I see Kristen says, "Hey, Marlene. Hey, Kristen, how are you doing? Welcome. Hey, Boss Life Online, how are you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate it. Tamika, as always, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys could hit the like, share this out, I'd really appreciate it. So I cannot believe it that it was exactly 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago, we did the sip and chat. When we first started the sip and chat, it was, it was about fun. Yeah, it still is fun, but we've had some really serious conversations over here on the sip and chat. We really and truly have. And I'm gonna talk about it too with Miss Nexie, but I want to say from myself, thank you all. From me, thank you so much for supporting Love Marlene 411. Thank you for those who have subscribed, those who have joined my channel membership, those who are my moderators, everybody who supports me and supports this channel. I want to say thank you. It truly means a lot. I didn't expect when I started this channel for it to be able to reach people this sort of way, because I've gone through a lot with this channel. It started off with being called She Reviews Everything. Who remembers that? And then I think it went from She Reviews to this channel. But let's talk a little bit. We are the Sip and Chat, right? So today's topic is love shouldn't hurt. Okay? Love shouldn't hurt. And I'm looking forward to talking about this with my co host, Miss Nexie. She should be here shortly. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation. And of course, this is a sip and chat. So I got my only Miss Nexie. I'm waiting for Miss Nexie to ask me what is my drink, but that's my drink. What are you guys sipping on today? Do you have your coffee? Do you have your tea? Do you have it all ready to get into this conversation? I hope so. So, first, let's start off by saying the topic: love shouldn't hurt. Have you ever been in a relationship where love hurts you? Hi, Shanu. Hi, Deepak. How are you? Welcome. Have you ever been in a relationship where love has hurt you? I'm going to pause and hear what you all have to say about that. Oh, Tamika says water. That's awesome. But whatever it is that you are hydrating, as long as you're hydrating and enjoying the conversation, that's what's important to me. I'm doing great. How are you doing? Welcome. So, I wanted to say that. First of all, have you ever been hurt by love? Nope, it's not orange juice. How are you doing, Orino? Have you ever been hurt by love? Um, I first want to say that most of the time, love in relationships, it always starts back. You have to go all the way back to your childhood. Has anybody from your childhood hurt you, whether it be your mother, your father, your siblings, your somebody that is really close to you? Usually it starts there from our childhood. Um, it usually starts from our childhood. Uh, Nick says, "Oh, okay, okay." So that's what I feel 100% of the time. I think it's important to. I did the wrong. I did the wrong person. Sorry about that, Tamika. I don't know why. I pressed the wrong person. I would never hide you. That was a mistake. I apologize. So, what I want to say is, has love ever hurt you? I can say from my perspective, what I've been through in my life, the first people in my life who I trusted, who really meant a lot to me, definitely hurt me a lot. Um, when we think about the first people that ever come into our life that are important, and it's our mother, our father, um, it's all of that. Hi, Slickback. How are you? Welcome. Tamika says, yes, I got hurt when I didn't know no better. And that's isn't that unfortunate that we go through situations like this in our life. We go through difficulties, we go through problems, we go through situations. And first, I want to say, I believe our parents or our siblings or other people in our life, I really don't think that every single person that comes in our life really truly means to hurt us. It's just that hurt people hurt people. Yeah. You're good? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. And I wanted to say that this channel is all about healing from our wounds from the past and from even currently. Maybe you have a situation where somebody in your life continuously hurts you, disappoints you, lets you down. I want to have this conversation because I think that it's a very important one. We cannot continue to allow our people in our life that we may love to continue to hurt us. We have to stop letting people hurt us and say that they love us. Um, One thing that I had to learn about myself is that not everybody that I love loves me the way that I deserve to be loved. And we have to take a moment and let that sink in. Let that sink into your mind. Let it sink into your brain. Not everybody who we love loves us back. And that's the thing. I grew up not really feeling comfortable to express myself without there being repercussions like you're weird or you're strange or you're too emotional or things like that. But that that kind of thing, it goes and travels into your preteen, your teen, your adulthood, all the way until you start being in a romantic relationship. I try to stream at least twice a week, slick back. And that's the thing about it is we cannot allow people to keep hurting us. I hope that there is at least one person who will watch this, whether live or in the replay, and come to that realization. We cannot let people keep taking advantage of us, running over us, manipulating us, and then calling that love. Love is not supposed to hurt us. Love is not supposed to bring pain to us. Love is supposed to be helping you to grow, to be a better woman, to be a better man, to be a better human being in general. And the thing about it is that a lot of times, oh, and I thank you, Slickback. I really do. Thank you for being here live and everybody who's watching. I think that we feel because people are our relatives, you know, people are our relatives, people are our, that's my parent, that's my sibling, auntie, grandma, whoever, people that we're close to. We feel that they are supposed to be perfect. And that's one of the things that I had to work on inside of me. Stop expecting perfection from imperfect people. So it's not that you want them to be perfect, but you cannot let people keep harming you, disappointing you, and not really caring how it affects you. And I know from I was a little girl, I didn't know how to voice that I was being hurt. I didn't know how to voice that I was going through all of these things. Because when you're young, you're very vulnerable, you're very trusting, and it's not a good thing. But it's exactly what happens when you have somebody, whether a parent, a sibling, a friend, whoever, romantic relationship. Um, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Right, Tamika, love don't hurt. It's not supposed to, but unfortunately, it's what happens. Sometimes situations like when family member, a friend, a romantic interest, somebody we really care about, when they hurt us, it helps to shape us and turn us into a better human being, a stronger, a person who actually learns certain things. We learn from our relationships. We learn whether this is something we should continue. And I want to pause on that for a moment. A lot of times, well, I can't say a lot of times, but I know before, when it comes to love, romantic love, I was always waiting for a person to change. We have these ideas in our head about what love is. Love is this and love is that. But we also have to understand that we have to communicate what we want, and we have to realize that not everybody who says that they love us actually does. And when I thought about that for a while, I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to receive it. It's hard for us to take our own advice, when we know we're the problem. And sometimes, loved ones, we are the problem. We're the problem in the situation because we stay in that romantic relationship. We think we can fix them. We think we can change them. We think we can help them and heal them. And it's so many things that we do when we think we can help and fix people. Is We think we can help people financially. Yeah, you can, once in a while give somebody some money, but it's not our responsibility to fix somebody's financial situation. Ultimately, every adult is supposed to carry their own burden, their own load, and be able to take care of themselves. That's not anybody else's responsibility to help fix that part of us. Every single adult has to take care of themselves. And I know for me, I had a problem for a really long time. And I know a lot of people will not be honest enough to say it, but I'm going to say it. I used to think that I could buy love. And I did that from my teen years up into, I was probably about 20, 21. I thought that I could buy friendships. I thought that I could buy a relationship. And I thought by giving gifts, that would make people stick around and they would love me because of what I am doing for them. But I had to learn that they were only around for what I was giving them, not because they wanted to be around me, not because they cared about me or supported me or thought about what I wanted and what I needed. And thinking back, that hurts a lot. It hurts when people do things to us, but also at the same time, we have to learn from our mistakes and make changes. So don't buy love. If somebody really cares about you, You don't have to buy them anything. You don't have to do anything for them. All you have to do is show up and be yourself. And that's what I want this conversation today to be centered on. It's not about what we can give to other people. It's just about us being ourselves. You being your true and or authentic woman. You being a true and authentic man. And don't worry about the rest, because if people drop off of our life, people take advantage of us, people backstab us, or don't treat us in the right way, all it means is that they didn't deserve to hold a place in our life. They didn't deserve to have a place in our heart. Oh, thank you so much. Slickback says, you helped me a lot. Thank you so much. Hey, Nate, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. So you mean this process has to start with us? Yes. We have to know ourselves, you know, and that's why that self-reflection, the self-love, the self-care, it's so important. Hi, Miss Lynn. How are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. It's so important for us to continue to work on ourselves. Remember, we are all a work in progress, or we all should be, I should say. Some people don't want to make changes. Some people don't want to work on themselves. They don't want to think that I deserve better. And I want to go back in time a little bit. I want you all to go back in time. Think about a time when you were maybe younger, vulnerable. Maybe you didn't have a lot of experiences in life and you were very trusting. You trusted people with their word. You trusted people just because you just didn't know any better. And I do believe that that's a problem for a lot of people. We're very trusting of others, and especially when it comes to our relatives. Some people call them family, but I call them relatives because not everybody that we are related to cares about us. Not everybody we're related to actually loves us. Love is shown by your actions. And from the beginning, some people, their actions show control, jealousy, manipulation, lies, and that's not what love is. I had to learn to redefine love for me. And I encourage every single one of you, no matter how old you are, whether you're 18 years old or whether you're 99 years old, we all can work on learning ourselves, loving ourselves, and even writing down sometimes what are my values? What do I stand for? Because if you don't know what you stand for, other people are going to come in and try to control you and try to tell you what you stand for. Because a lot of people, they know who they can manipulate. They know who is very vulnerable. They know who they can use, and they're going to do just that. And while that's not right, we have to have a strong, what is it called? Trying to think of the word. We have to have a strong backbone and know how to speak up for ourselves. But I know when I was younger and I didn't know any better. I didn't know you should speak up for yourself. I always believed that people who were my relatives or people called their family, I thought that those were the people who cared about me. And I just couldn't understand why the people that are supposed to love me and supposed to be my family, why they bring me so much pain? Why do they hurt me? Why do they take advantage of me? Why is there so much disruption and anger and drama when love is not supposed to hurt you. Love is supposed to help you. Love is supposed to heal you. It's supposed to fortify you and encourage you. But one thing that I didn't understand about this life is going all the way back to my youth. It always starts from us. It starts from within. So I believe it was probably maybe about 9 years ago where I started my journey of self love back in what is 2024, 2022. 2000, around 2015. Yeah, I would say then. About 2015 is when I started to think I deserve to have my own private time. Or I started to pay attention. I don't like how a person is treating me. I don't like how they make me feel. I don't like how they don't support me. All of that goes together. For you have to go through sometimes some hills and valleys in life. You have to have people hurt you. You have to have people break you down. Sometimes you even have to have a few people break you down. You have to have a few heartaches and heartbreaks to find out that's not that's not what I deserve. I deserve better than this. So until you learn to heal and work on you from your inside, there's a lot of things that you're going to take. You're just going to keep taking things and taking things and taking things until you know the power of the word no, until you learn the power of your own self worth, until you know that I don't have to tell my business. There's a lot of things that we have to go through in this life. And until we find out who we are, what we deserve, what we're about, we'll just put up with anything. Yes, it's so true. Facts. Yes, Miss Lynn. Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Thursday. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate it. How is everybody doing? So you guys let me know. Have you been in relationships like that? Being completely honest and transparent. From I was a little girl until probably after college is when I finally started to be able to say, I don't have to take that. I believe when you're young, you care more about how other people feel about you. You think more about pleasing people. And I think as you get older, you go through more experiences, you become wiser, you learn to find your inner voice. And I think that that's something that it's your whole life. It's something you have to work on all the time. You have to work on you and you have to realize how you feel. What do I deserve? And it's not enough to just say, I deserve X, Y, and Z. It's about putting it into practice because I know myself, because I love myself, because I have these values. There's certain things that I'm going to take, and there's certain things that I won't take. And I want anybody who's listening to this message to believe that firmly with everything, even if you have to say it out loud, even if you have to repeat it over and over again in your mind. I know a lot of times I have to repeat it back to myself. And I say, Marlene, you deserve better than this. Marlene, you don't have to take it. Just insert your name. Just because a person is treating you this way, just because people want to give you crumbs, it doesn't mean you have to take the crumbs. And I that's something that was hard for me to receive, is that just because a person only has this much to give but you want this much, it doesn't mean you got to take that. You could just say it's time for me to move on, or you know, I appreciate you, I care for you. And it's not that you hate people, but I had to learn to love myself more than I loved other people. And that's something that I absolutely did not get growing up. I did not know that as a child. I didn't know that as a preteen. I didn't know that as a teen. I didn't know that as an adult. I didn't know that until probably maybe about 7 or 8 years ago is when I first realized, wait a minute. Why do you always take the crumbs from them? Why do you let them talk to you that way? Why do you always keep asking them to support you and they're already proving by their actions they don't want to support you? It's coming to that awareness. It's allowing myself to open my eyes. And I hope the same thing. The reason why I do these streams and these videos and live streams and podcasts is because I want other people to learn from from my mistakes, learn from my pain, learn from my hurt, learn from my struggles, because I'm very transparent. I was very immature. I was very open and loving of others, but I was not receiving it back. Miss Lynn says, yes, I was a people pleaser, always trying to make everyone happy except myself. See, I was in the same boat with you, Miss Lynn. Same thing. I all I ever thought about was how does this make them feel? Or if I was angry and upset about something, I thought their feelings were more important than mine. So I would never talk about they hurt my feelings. I didn't like that. I would just sweep it under the rug because I did not like confrontation. I did not like to talk about how I was feeling, even though I was feeling upset. I was getting some um, mental disruption. I was going through a lot of things, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and physically, and it was affecting me. But I didn't have enough courage to say, "You're hurting me. You're taking advantage of me. You're not being kind to me." And that's something that I hope, even if it's just one person that says, "I don't have to take it." Well, and it doesn't matter who it is. It could be your parent, your siblings, your children, spouse, significant other, quote unquote friends. It doesn't matter. Not everybody that we we love loves us back. And I think it all comes from they don't know how to love themselves. Some people don't even know what love is. And that's what I had to learn to work on defining what does love mean to me. What does love mean to Marlene? And you got to insert your name in that. What does love mean to me? What do I need for me to feel loved? What do I need to be able to keep love for myself, because ultimately that's what it's all about. We have to stop compromising our own self-love to please and to support somebody else. And being in a very toxic romantic relationship previously, I can tell you that, everything I'm saying is 100% true from my perspective, because no matter how much I did, I can never make them happy because they weren't happy inside themselves. And if you've ever been around somebody who has a lot of anger problems, anger issues, guess who's going to wind up being angry too? You. So you have to be careful who you choose to be in a relationship with, because if you're around somebody who's immature, somebody who's angry, somebody who's controlling, somebody who's jealous, you're not going to get to your level of love and elevation and peace because of them. So, no matter how much you can love somebody, you have to love yourself more. And there's certain people you have to cut ties with them, or you're going to be upset and angry, and you will not be able to function. Okay. Miss Lynn says, thank God for growth. Yeah, that's what I say too. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to great friends and great people in my life who loved me when I was not a great person, Not that I wasn't a good person, but when you go through things in your life and you're upset and you're angry, you will cause other people to be upset and angry too. When you are around people and they are not functioning properly and they are going through a lot of things, you kind of you get some of that. You get some of the that anger, or some, not sometimes, you always, because if you're around somebody and they have not made a choice to grow up, they haven't made a choice to heal, they haven't made it a choice to stop complaining. And that's something that I want to say um, to all of you. If you are around somebody and you've told them how you feel, you've told them that they hurt you, you've told them that you don't like X, Y, and Z, and they still make a decision to do what they want to do, now you have to make a choice to choose yourself. And that's one of the hardest things that I ever had to do in my life is cutting ties with people that from my heart I love them, but at the same time, their love is toxic. Their love is controlling and jealous. And for me, that's not a pure definition of love because love is not supposed to cause disruption. Love is supposed to bring peace in your life. Love is supposed to bring joy. And some people, unfortunately, will never be joyful because they've made a choice to be angry. And coming from that space of I never got healing in my life, you know. I wasn't around people who were healed, who were at a space in their life where they were happy. They were at a space where they didn't blame other people for their problems. And not all the time we try to be like that, but when your relatives, when people in your environment are very negative or controlling and jealous, sometimes it gives you a complex and you doubt yourself. I went through that for a very long period of time, not being able to make good, better decisions that's good for me, not just doing things to always make other people happy. And I will say this, and hopefully there's one or several, maybe lots of people who will get this message, but we can't let everybody make us stop in doing the things we want to do in our life. I put the pause button on my life for such a long period of time because I just wanted to make them happy. But you shouldn't pause your life just because you have people in your life who don't want to grow up or who are immature. And let's just say this and put this out there that a lot of times the ones that we care about, the ones that we love, hmm, the ones that we love don't love us. Hmm. And that hurts, it burns, it stings, but it's what it is. Sometimes the people that we love don't love us. Mm. Now, if I had believed that, I think my whole life would have been different. We're trying to force things. We're trying to force relationships, trying to force friendships, trying to force romantic relationships, trying to force. You should never force people to be in your life because it won't stick. And it's going to disrupt you. It's going to disrupt your mental health. You will not function properly following behind other people. You have to know yourself and you have to know what you need to be loved because no two people are alike. Some people need their personal time. Why I feel everybody should need their personal time, but maybe some people don't. Some people for them love means spending time together. For me, love means respecting my boundaries. And I want to talk about that for a little while when we talk about people in our life that we care about and we love, mm, does that love ask you questions like, how can I support you? How can I make you happier? And if you don't have people in your life that consider you, hey, have a seat. Are you getting rest? When's the last time you went to your doctor? When's the last time you did this or that? And it's not for anything for them. It's for you. Oh, I'm so glad you're here too. Thank you so much. Until you learn that, until I learned that, until I learned that I have to be happy first. I have to know me first. I have to know what I deserve. And for a really long period of time in my life, I didn't feel that I deserved to follow my dreams. And it's not because I couldn't do it, but because I was always supporting and helping other people. And it wasn't always that they asked me for help, but I would offer. I would offer. And when you start something, it's like it won't stop. So I had to learn to stop making myself available to everyone. Don't be available every time someone calls or asks you for help. It doesn't mean that you have to. You have to be there. You have to listen to it. Because let me tell you something about toxic people. Once they find out that you're going to do whatever it is that you are going to do, whenever you start enabling people, they will never cut that off. That's something that you're going to have to cut off, and it's going to make be very difficult for you to cut off, because when people are dysfunctional, drama people, users, manipulators, they're going to play lots of mind games. They're going to play with your mind. They're going to play with your heart. They're going to play with your head. They're going to play with your finances, and they're going to stop your focus. I know for myself, being around certain people who would always hurt me, hurt me, hurt me, hurt me constantly. But in my mind, I would just rationalize, one day they'll change. One day they'll do better. One day they're going to love me. One day they're going to be sorry. One day. But when is that day going to come? We have to make that a reality for ourselves. Don't think that people are going to be like, "Oh, it's time for me to start acting right." Especially if you're giving people all the privileges of that relationship, why would somebody want to change and you're doing all of these things for them? Where you're always there for them and they don't have to do nothing and you accept it. So, you know, the power is in our hand. The power is within us. We're stronger than we think, we're stronger than we believe. And I know for me, I never thought I was strong enough to handle it. I didn't think I was strong enough to walk away from people who hurt me. I didn't think I could open up my mouth and say no. I didn't think I could say I deserve better than that. I didn't think that because I didn't have confidence at that period of time. Now it's a different story, but I'm talking to those who maybe be struggling with finding their voice, finding finding how do I speak up for myself without being rude, because there's always a way to put people in their place. There's always a way to enforce boundaries without being rude. You don't have to be rude. You can just be like, this is the way it is, and that's it. And no is a complete sentence. No is a complete statement. And yeah, it's all of those things. So I had to personally learn me. So that's where I'm gonna leave that ball in your court as well. Do not allow friends, family, coworkers, romantic relationships, people on social media. Do not allow other people to control this. See, the mind is a powerful thing, loved ones. The mind is a powerful thing. And when you know how to control your own mind, when you know who you are, when you know what you're worth, when you know the power of your own inner light, I don't have to take this mess. I don't have to stay in this negativity. I don't have to do anything for them. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to say what it is that I'm doing. All I know is I don't like this and it's time for me to go. See, that's empowerment. I wanted this message today to be that of empowerment. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to take a sip. I wanted this to be a message of empowerment. Are you empowered? Are you empowered? We can say yes, but the only person at the end of the day that we have to deal with is ourself. So it's important for us to reflect honestly. I know if you had talked to me 10 years ago, there's no way I could say, am I empowered? No, I was not empowered. I didn't know anything about my inner light. I didn't know about the power of saying no. I was definitely a people pleaser. I would let people run over me, treat me any type of way, and then I would just keep taking it because I always thought that that's the best that I could do. And I want to say this to somebody who needs to hear it. You don't have to take everything that people give you. There's certain things where that's who that person is, or that's what somebody has to offer, but it doesn't mean that it's for you. You know, respectfully decline. Okay, respectfully leave, walk away. Respectfully, no, this is not for me. And it doesn't mean that people are bad people, but not everybody you can get along with. Not everybody is going to be your cup of tea. So that's something that I had to learn. It doesn't make other people bad people, but you have to know what you like. And it always goes back to that when I go through situations in my life and people hurt me, most of the time I violated some of my own things, like I didn't speak up for myself. I didn't tell them no. I saw some red flags and I still continued it anyways. Um I just didn't do what I needed to do. It's more of accepting what other people are doing and not standing on that and saying, okay, they know what I like and they know what I don't like, but they still want to do what they want to do anyways. And that's the part of being an adult, okay? That's the best part of being adult is that you can always make a decision to leave and you don't have to explain why, because that relationship is not serving me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically, and I got to go. You know, it's no shade to anybody, but sometimes we outgrow relationships. We outgrow people, and it's not because they're bad people. Sometimes there are some bad people, but there's certain relationships that when you first met somebody and then you go through something. I don't know how many of you are going to be honest about it, but I have no problem with being honest within myself. I went through a situation at one period of time in my life where I knew this was not a good person. I saw the red flags. I saw the writing on the wall. I saw how they treated other people. I saw how they would talk about other people behind their back. When somebody talks about somebody in your face, it's just a matter of time before the same thing happens to you. Yes. That's what I say to myself a lot of times. I respectfully declined. And in that respectfully declining, it could mean walking away, could be mean running, it could mean turning off your phone, not taking phone calls, or not wanting to listen to the negativity or drama. It's a lot of things that I personally had to learn about me. I personally had to learn about loving myself. And to love myself, you know what it meant? I had to be able to be strong enough and to stand on my own values, on my own worth, and not look for my worth inside of other people. Now, I know there's a lot of people who will not like this message that I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. A lot of people on social media, in our day to day life, within our families, friends, workplaces, they find their value in being liked. They find their value in possessions, material things. They find their value in looks or other things that's outside of. But for me, I learned that my value is not when I'm in front of other people, but when I'm alone and I'm by myself and I speak and I have my own self-talk and I encourage myself, and I say that to all of you. Make sure that you are having your own positive self talk and remind yourself, I'm doing great, because your worth is not inside of other people. It's not because you're in a romantic relationship. It's not because you have certain friends. It's not because you have a certain amount of money in the bank. It's not because of your looks, but it's because of who you are. Just because you exist. I'll never forget when my therapist told me that. Just because you exist, you have value. So I'm going to pay that forward, and share what my therapist told me. Just because you exist, you have value. And I think that that's something very profound. Just knowing that just because I'm alive, I'm important. And because I'm important, there's certain things that I need to stand up for myself in. You need to stand up for you. And I know for me, it can be difficult at times, not all the time, but sometimes because when I really care about people, I don't like to rock the boat. But when I see that somebody is a rude person or something, I have no problem with standing up for myself. But it's the people who are very close to me. Sometimes I don't always want to say things if it's going to embarrass somebody. So I know for me, what the more that I took a deep dive inside of myself, and I started to work on my own self-awareness, my own self-love, my own self-respect, my own self-esteem, my own self-confidence. When I started to take apart myself, I didn't like how certain things that involved me was attached to other people, and I had to learn to be okay independently, not not inside of a relationship, not inside of a relationship, inside of friends, inside of things. I had to learn to be okay inside of myself. And that's something that I believe every woman and every man should learn. No matter what in your life, you have to first learn you. Hold on a second. I think it's back. Sorry about that. But I definitely have to say that I think that it's so highly important that we understand ourselves. And I want you all to get this point because it's so important to me, and I hope that it's so important to you. Learning to speak out loud. I'm very big on speaking out, declarations, speaking over yourself. W- no matter what your spirituality is, I think that it's important to speak and declare over your life. You have to speak positivity over yourself. You have to speak light over yourself. You have to speak good things over yourself. And until you get into that position where you feel good about yourself, until you know yourself and what you want and what your focus is, there's certain things that you just will keep taking. You're going to keep taking a bad romantic relationship. You're going to keep taking and thinking people are your friends and they're not. You're going to keep thinking you have to do everything for your relatives and your family, and you don't. You're going to keep thinking all of these things about others until you learn to step into your own, know yourself, and love yourself. You will keep falling for anything. What is the saying? If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And that's what it's all about. Until you learn what you want, until you learn what you deserve, until you find your own personal value, you're going to keep allowing people to hurt you. And I do want to speak on this for a moment. I will say that October is Domestic Violence Month. And I'm not going to stay on this topic for too long, but I do want to say this um, to anybody who is in a relationship and they're putting their hands on you. And not all abuse is physical, there's a lot of verbal abuse, putting you down, screaming at you, giving you the jitters, making you feel controlled. You have to do everything what they say, or else you feel unsafe in your own environment. You can't think and make decisions for yourself. I'm just asking for you to think about being in a better environment, a safer one, for just for you. Anybody who feels unsafe around people, you feel like you're always emotionally distraught. There are some people that I know, and I keep them very far away from me because they never care about what they say. They feel that they can say anything to me, and they feel that they can say anything to you, and you have to take it. And it's because nobody stands up to them. They're bullies, they're controlling, they're jealous, they're manipulative. They've been enabled and coddled their whole life because nobody has ever said, no, you don't talk to me that way. No, you will not treat me that way. No, you're being disrespectful. No, I won't do that for you. You need to do that for yourself. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have relationships with people and they continuously hurt us, because we don't say no. Because we don't say no. How many of us are going to be honest and say, I don't say no when I need to? I can be honest and say it. So a lot of times where I don't say no, and I know I need to. I know I need to say no. I know, but I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel like, but I need to help them. No, you don't. Because they have to find their own way out, especially if it's people who are adults, especially if it's your children, especially those things. And I mean adult children. I don't mean the younger children. You have to let people make their own decisions. You have to stop clipping other people's wings. I remember when my therapist told me this explanation and I didn't like it. But when we do things for others all the time, we do not give them the freedom to spread their wings and fly and do the things that they want to do. And that's something that I had to learn to start pulling back and stop trying to fix situations, trying to fix people, trying to do things for them because it's what we want. I had to learn that we have to let other people live their life. We have to let other people fall down. We have to allow them to experience pain so that they won't keep making the same decisions over and over again. Because if we keep doing it for them, why would they want to do that for themselves? And we give ourselves burnout. That's one of the reasons that I know for sure that love hurts me is when I keep doing so many things for others and they won't ever step in and say, "No, have a seat. It's okay. I know you're tired. I'll do it this time." But because if you've always done something, people start expecting things from you. And that's why you need to speak up and say, "I can't today. I'm tired. I'm not going to do it." Or "I won't be able to do this anymore. I'm not going to continue this on any longer." It's all of those things. And you find an empowerment. You find a strength and a courage that you never had before when you say, "I don't have to take this." You have to look at people right in their eye and tell them, "I don't have to take it. I'm not going to allow you to take advantage of me. I'm not going to allow for you to use me. I'm not going to allow for you to make me feel guilty because I choose myself." Hey, Robert, how are you doing? Welcome. And that's something that is so important. Don't let other people use you. So that's something I definitely wanted to say. Don't let other people use you. Whether it's your relative, it's a friend, it's family, it's whoever. Do not let others use you. Do not let other people take advantage of you. Do not let other people control you. That's a most definite no no. Okay, it's a most definite no no. So when I was thinking about this topic of love, love shouldn't hurt you. Hold on a second, guys. It's driving me crazy. Absolutely driving me crazy. Um, when I think about the people we have in our life, and when they're manipulative, and when they're controlling, and when they're jealous, and when they keep doing things that they know what they're doing, they know their behavior causes you pain and stress and aggravation, but we keep putting up with it. At the end of the day, people are going to do things until you put a stop to it. So I want to say to somebody who maybe you're not at that space where you feel strong enough, you don't know how to do it. I'm going to say it this very simply: I can no longer enable you. I can no longer support you in your dysfunction. There's a lot of things I remember when I was going through therapy, and I was writing these things down about all the people in my life that I enable. I enable them to disable them because we stop people from functioning at their highest capacity when we do things for them. And we're not our best self if we don't learn to be honest with ourselves. I had to learn that inside of me. I had to learn that stop doing things you don't want to do. Stop doing things you don't like. Stop doing things that's not in your purpose. It drains you, it stresses you out. It's causing you pain, and one of the biggest pains that we experience is pain from our family when it comes to the financial support. And I know that that's a very sensitive topic for most people, but it's true. Money issues is is one of the biggest problems in romantic relationships. It says that over 50% of problems with divorce, it's a money issues. And I know that money issues is a big problem with it with friends. It's a big problem with relatives. It's a big problem in so much relationships. So I always say the biggest thing that we need to do is to communicate what we want, communicate what you need. And if you see that other people do not respect it, then that's when you remove yourself from them. You don't have to keep going around them. You don't. See, what I had to learn is I had to first learn to empower myself. I had to first learn what I wanted, what I needed before I can expect things from others. And that's why I say all the time, if you need to take a break from other people, take a break from other people in order for you to be able to have your cup filled up. And I know that for most of us, women and men, the same, we will think about other people. You'll think about your children, you'll think about your job, you'll think about your partner, you'll think about everything. But you always put yourself last in everything. Not even taking care of yourself, going to a doctor, doing everything that you need to do to be okay. We'll be thinking about everybody else but us. And that's just not going to work. Okay. Loved ones, we have to do better. We have to stop letting people hurt us. And what I want to talk about is social media because social media is a big influence in so many people's lives, from young people to adults. There are people unaliving themselves from the things that people say on social media about them. Sometimes people go on social media and they embarrass themselves, they embarrass their families. Um, they do things that is just morally wrong. Um, and you can't undo those, because when you see those images, when you hear the words, when people say things, while you can forgive people, you can never forget the harm, the disruption, the emotional strain and pain and aggravation that a person caused you. So, when we find that people do not respect our boundaries and our limits, that's when we have to make a decision. You got to make a choice. And it's the hardest choice in this world, to choose yourself, because other people make it seem like, oh, you're selfish, or well, you've been doing that. I know I've heard that from more than one person. You've always done that. Like, why now you don't want to do it? Because now I'm empowered. Okay? Because now I'm empowered. Are you all empowered? I hope so. And that's what I wanted this sip and chat to be about. Empowerment. Empower yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Grow from what you've gone through. And I know that so many of us have gone through so much traumatic events, terrible relationships, people that take advantage of you, people who are disrespectful, people who like to disrupt your peace, people who are always takers, but they're never givers. But one thing about it is that I had to learn as a woman, I had to speak and declare things. And if I didn't like the way a person was talking to me, or the worst part is when you ask people for things and then they ignore you, or they ghost you, or no response. So when those type of situations happen, then you just those are the individuals where, if they don't want to be bothered with you, then you need to stop letting yourself be bothered with them. And I say that with, respect, because I don't know your situation. I don't know what you're going through personally, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I don't know. Every single person is going through different things. But one thing that I will say, I know that every single human being goes through problems. We all do. We all go through problems. We all go through drama. But then at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, is is this situation because of something I didn't do? Or is it because of that person? Those are the things that we have to be honest and mature and grown enough to say. Is this situation because of me? Or is this situation because of them? Now, if the situation is because of another person, then you have two choices. Either you're going to continue on with it, or you're going to cut the ties and get out of there. Don't be afraid to start again. You know, I say this, I'm speaking to anybody who needs to hear it, because I had to start my whole life over again. Not a lot of people know that, but I had to start my whole life over again about a year and a half ago. I had to start my whole life over again because of a situation in a relationship. And it's hard. It's hard when you get used to something. It's hard because it when it was not something that you wanted. Thank you so much, Robert. When things aren't what we want, it's hard for us to let it go, because we don't want to. Number one, who wants to be alone? Nobody. Who wants to let go of people that we care about? Nobody. But ultimately, if that person cared about you the way you cared for them, they would respect you. They would show up for you. They would they would do right things. They would not treat you in the way that they treat you. So that's something that I wanted to say to all of you. Don't let people run all over you. Right, Robert? You have to heal yourself to start over. And that is hard. It is hard to let yourself heal. It's hard to start your life over. It's hard to stop bad behaviors. I know for myself, when I know there's certain things that I probably should have done, but like everybody, we're imperfect. We're human. We make mistakes. But don't use that as an excuse, because we get lazy, because we want control, because we say in our mind, we have this whole narrative, they'll change one day. They're going to do better, or that's just the way they are. Mm. If we have people in our life and they continue to bring you pain, and they continue to hurt you, and they continue to bring drama, and they continue to not show up for you and support you, why do you keep them in your life? Why? You shouldn't. So it's just something to think about. you know I want you all to think about yourself. I want you to think about your future, and your life. Remember, at the end of the day, it's your life. Okay, it's your life, and we have to make a choice to choose ourselves. Will you make that? Are you going to keep letting people run over you? Are you going to keep letting people take advantage of you? We shouldn't, because we can't say we love ourselves and then at the same time letting letting them hurt us. you know it does not equate, because if somebody really loves us, they're not going to want to bring you hurt. They're not going to want to bring you pain. They won't. They're going. About you won't hurt you. And I found that out on my own. I found that out on my own, that we keep allowing things. We keep allowing it, we keep allowing it, we keep allowing it, but then at the same time, we complain about it. Mm. At the end of the day, isn't that a that's a us problem, not a them. Because people, of course, they're going to keep taking it. Of course, they're going to keep taking it if you keep putting it out there. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. Robert says we don't need drama in our life that is painful. We don't. You don't need pain in your life. You don't need aggravation. You don't need drama. You don't need any of those things. So, yeah. So it's something that I wanted to say to you all, and I hope that there is a few people who will get it. I hope you will get it. Don't let people hurt you and then at the same time call that love. Don't let people take advantage of you and then call that love. There's a lot of toxicity in this world, in this life, and especially there's so much toxicity on social media. Pay attention, be aware, loved ones. And what hurts the most is when you experience that sort of backstabbing from somebody that you love romantically. I feel like it's one of the worst things ever in this life. Yes, Miss Lynn, it is. It's very profound. And I just wanted to encourage you all, you know, and tell all of you loved ones to know how you feel. Don't listen to other people, okay? Don't listen to other people. Know how you feel. Know what you personally are going through. And if you feel insulted, if you feel disrespected, if you feel taken advantage of, then one time, and then you have a conversation. Why did this occur? And don't let it happen again. But then if it happens again, now who is that on? Us. The first time, it's shame on them. The second time, it's shame on you. So it's just something that I wanted to say to all of you. Um, don't let don't let don't let the past hurt your present. And I say that because we go through things in our life, and sometimes it's things from our childhood, and yeah, we go through things from our childhood, and it hurts a lot. Um, but we can't let, hey, Boss Life Online, how are you doing? Welcome. We can't let things from our past get to us. We can't let things that, like other people's issues, I should say, we can't let other people's issues dominate us. We can't let other people, because they want to be angry their whole life, let that make us angry. We can't let having relatives that don't want to do anything with their life stop us from doing things with ours. We can't. So I just wanted to say that. And I wanted to say this to you all: don't let people take advantage of you. I hope that hits somebody right in their heart. I hope this makes somebody think, like really, really think. Are there people in my life that take advantage of me? Are there people in my life that are using me? Are there people in my life that are controlling? Are there people in my life that I know that they really don't support and care for me, but I do? See, that's enabling people. We can't enable people in their bad behavior. We can't. All right. So it's just something that I wanted to bring this message because I think that it's important to say. Yes, Robert, thank you for dropping that number. Yeah, because I was speaking about that earlier. Those who are feel unsafe, and it doesn't always have to be from your partner. It could be from your parents, siblings, it could be from your own children. Anybody can be abusive to you physically. You don't have to take it. Nobody has to take it. And when we talk about loving, when love shouldn't hurt us, we cannot leave this conversation without talking about your past. You know, the little boy inside of you, the little girl inside of you. And I learned something 2 days ago that really changed me. I was going through a lot, and I had a really good friend, and they talked to me through very early in the morning because I was starting to act in a way like going backwards instead of going forward in my life. And we all know the potential that we have inside, but sometimes the things that we go through, it can keep us stuck, and we're not able to get over that until we can say to ourselves, I forgive that situation. I forgive that person. And I also forgive myself. And I want to thank, I want to thank that person, and they know who they are. I want to thank them for for that because it gave me some food for thought. Sometimes we don't always think about how wonderful we are. We don't think about how awesome we are. We just think about what we've been through. And yes, it's true. I'm always going to state, yes, what happened to you, it matters. You need to talk about that. You need to heal that. But at the same time, we can't just be stuck there. Okay. We can't just be stuck there and constantly letting, like, reliving it in our head. And then we never get to do the things that we want to do in our life. We never step inside of our talents and inside of our passion, inside of our life because of all of these things. So, forgiveness is one of the hardest things in this life to do. It's something that I work on it every day. Every day. Every day. Every day I have to wake up. And what helped me when my therapist told me it's hard for you to forgive others, but think about it this way. And I'll say this to you all as well. It may be hard to forgive something that somebody has done to you, but I like to look at it this way. Every day you wake up, your higher power, I call it God. Every day I wake up, God forgives me for something that I've done. And you have to look at it that way too. Even if they have not made changes, even if you can't change the situation, even if you can't talk to that person, even if all of those variables exist, at the end of the day, you have to live your life. It's up to you, and you have to make a choice to choose yourself. And I had to say to myself, little girl, what happened to you was wrong. What happened to you should never have been done. But you had no control over that. All you can do is control your thoughts for that day. We even sometimes can't even control the things that we do because we do things and we say, oh, why did I do that? But what I can do is control the way I think about myself. And I have to remind myself every day I deserve to live. Every day I deserve to help myself and I deserve to help others. I deserve to be my best self. And I say that to you as well. You deserve to be your best self, not the version of you that was broken, not the version of you that was hurt, not the version of you that people take advantage of you or they only want to give you crumbs or they talk about you and they're jealous of you. I'm talking about the person, the healthy love, the healthy representative. And I am so grateful when my therapist told me that you get, you should give the healthy representative of yourself. Leave the toxic behind. And every time that toxic, you get a reminder of that, remind yourself every day, every time that comes up. I forgive that situation. I forgive that person and I forgive myself. And then you move on. Don't let that control you, even if it's something you did, if it's something they did, if it's something, whatever, what other people said, if people smeared your reputation, if people didn't support you, you have to support and love you. Remember, you're not alone. I'm going to say this because it's something that I need to say because it's something that I wish that somebody would say to me in your difficulty, in your pain. You're not alone. Hmm. When we're going through situations, don't you feel alone? I know I do. You feel like I'm the only person going through this pain. I'm the only person going through this struggle. And it's not true. You're not the only person. There's millions of people going through the same thing, just like you are. But a lot of people, they hold it inside. They don't want to talk about it. They want to ignore it. But I want you to, every time you feel that way, every time you feel down, every time your mind feels boggled and riddled with this pain, I want you to say, I forgive them and I forgive you. Just as we need to forgive, we also have been forgiven. When I think about that, that kind of has been helping me to forgive a situation that happened to me many, many years ago, over and over and over and over again. I have to say, just as every single time I do wrong things and I say, God, forgive me, he forgives me. And I need to give that same love. See, it's not something that we just expect to receive forgiveness. No, it's something, it has to be reciprocated. Just as we need to be forgiven, we must. See, it's something that's not optional. We must forgive others to be forgiven. And I was not thinking that way. I was only thinking, but forgive me when I do wrong. But I was not thinking that other people are in the same situation. They're human. Forgive them and let it go. Forgive it and let it go. So I hope this message has helped somebody. I hope it has supported somebody. It has reinforced. It's nothing wrong with crying your tears. It's nothing wrong with being upset. There's nothing wrong with being angry, screaming at the top of your lungs. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But the difference is what I want to say to everybody, the difference is don't let it continue. When you find out that a person will not make changes and they don't care and they keep hurting you, that's when you cut it off. That's when you cut it off. But things in the past that hurt you and trauma and all of that, that's something on a continuous basis. You have to keep reminding yourself, I, I've healed that. I've forgiven that. And then you forgive them over and over again and say, I forgive them, just as I am asking for forgiveness. You see how it's like it purifies me. It's something that all the time, I'm always like, oh, forgive me. I'm like, God, forgive me for what I've done, because I sin, I make mistakes every day. I hurt people, I hurt God, because I'm human, and I'm open and transparent enough to say that I hurt others, I disappoint others, and the same thing. Other people do that to us, but we kind of want for ourselves. Oh, I have to forgive me. But when somebody else does something to hurt us, do we openly allow that same forgiveness to be given and displayed to them? Hmm. Not that we're gullible, we're not stupid, we're not going to let people run over us, but when I mean forgive people so that we can live our life, forgive other people so that we can be our best. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, it froze for a second. And that's what I wanted to say to everybody. While we are not perfect, okay, while we sin, while we've been through disruption and pain and hurt, the thing about it is learning from it, okay? Learning from it and say, I don't have to take it. When you see something like, I don't like that, I don't like how they're talking to me, I don't like how they treat me, I don't like it, and then you end it. But most of the time, our hardest thing is carrying the burden of our past. And what I like to do is I like to look at my past now as something, as a lesson. Okay. What did you learn from that? You learned courage. You learned resiliency. You learned to encourage yourself. You learned to face your fears. You learned that you deserve to move past that and not to stay stuck in it. And that's something that I had to say to myself 2 days ago as I cried and cried and cried, and I asked for some some of the that pain to be removed so that I could move on, because sometimes the pain, the trauma, the hurt, the sadness, it overwhelms us, and it's not enough for the flesh and blood. Some things we need our spirit to 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 remove some of it. We need some the recompense. We need that Holy Spirit to come in and purify us. So that's something that I ask for the Holy Spirit to come in and to wash me clean and to purify my mind and my heart, and to give me the opportunity to have a new start and to live my life better than it ever was before. And whoever that needs to hit, I hope that hits you in your heart as well, for you to be purified and for you to be washed clean of any pain. And anytime that pain comes back, say, purify my heart once again, because I'm human and I took it back. Because just because we ask for God, we ask for the Holy Spirit to take it away, we go and we take it back again. And then we have to do it all over again. Forgive me for taking it back, but can you please purify my heart? Can you please relieve me of some of this pain? And then you get some freedom and then you take it back again. It's really fun. It's funny, but it's hurtful at the same time. But we're humans, it's what we do. We ask for help and then we try to handle it. And then we ask for help and we try to handle it. But it's okay. It's about taking things one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. So, the same thing to you all. Take things one day at a time. Forgiveness is for you. Healing is for you. And when I feel that overwhelming pain, sometimes I can't even speak out loud. I can't even say I'm hurting, but in my heart, I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation where you have so much hurt that you can't even voice it. Like your voice is gone, but in your heart, you can say, purify my heart. Give me a heart that is pure and clean. Give me a heart that is open so that I can serve you and I can serve others. So, just sharing a little bit of insight to what I'm going through because, like, when I talk about things about motivation and love and support, I'm not perfect. I go through things. I get sad. I get frustrated. I get discouraged. But then the whole thing about it is, I don't let myself stay there. That's when you reach out, you get your support from the people who love you. That's when you go and you talk to a therapist or you get a therapist. That's when you lean on your friends. And that's when you lean on your faith. You know, one thing I want to say to everybody, don't only think about faith when things are good because all of us like to say, oh yeah, things are good, things are good, God is great, things are good, right? But what about when your hard times arise? What about the negative situations? What about when people backstab you? Do you still say your life is good and great? See, what I'm learning is I'm learning to give give praise in my good and give praise in my bad at all times. You know, my therapist helped me to awaken my faith again. And it's a beautiful thing for you to be able to say that to yourself and believe it. I deserve to heal. I deserve to elevate. I deserve to grow. I deserve a second chance. I deserve a new start. I deserve to be here. I deserve to live my life. I deserve to use my talents. And we cannot do that until we forgive. We cannot do that until we heal. But it first has to start with us wanting to heal. We have to want to let go of it, you know? And I'm not perfect. I'm trying. I'm trying to let things go, but it's every day. You take things one day at a time. And I just said, just please purify my heart and give me the strength to be able to walk through this day without anger, without judgment, without fear, because I'm going to face my fears and say, that's it. And it's not going to control me. Don't let your fears control you. That's why your faith exists. So, thank you guys so much for coming into this live stream today. I really, truly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for your support and your love as always. Um, it means so much to me. And I wanted to say to anybody who has had in your past, whether it's from your childhood or whether it's something that just happened to you today, everybody deserves freedom. Everybody deserves peace. Everybody deserves to be respected. Everybody deserves to live their life in a way of peace. And I say to you all, may peace be with you. May God's undying love purify your heart. And I mean that from every fiber of my being. So a lot of times we are trying to fix things. And what I had to learn is that there's certain things it's not meant for me to fix. It's not meant for you to fix. It's meant for our Heavenly Father to fix it. And let Him fix it. And you just have to continue on day by day, depending on Him. So, from a person who was kind of wavering in their faith for a little bit, I feel like my faith has been restored, it has been renewed, it has been purified. I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling better. And I say this: first, you have to love yourself. Then you have to know that you are loved first by God. And then you have to have enough courage to face your fears. Face your fears and don't give up. Okay? Yes, Robert. Please reach out and talk to someone. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and supporting this stream. I truly appreciate you guys. And I will definitely see you guys back on the next one. Everybody have a great rest of your evening. Bye bye.